Tonight, ACRL honors one of its own, who we lost last year. We mourn him with a heavy heart. Please welcome ACRL Vice Chairman Jim Allen to present the tribute.
Well, that's a scary picture. I don't think if people see that picture, nobody's going to come from over there to smack me in the face. But Nader might have done that if he were here. He is here with us in our hearts. But if he were here and he saw that his name was misspelled in the program, he probably would have been coming up that stage right for me with a right hook. Overcoming cynicism is a middle-aged man's greatest challenge, well, at least for this one here. Remembering to begin and end each day with gratitude, counting your blessings, sometimes comes in a very close second. And yet, I'm standing here before you, hopeful and full of gratitude, due in no small measure to your support of this organization. I'm simultaneously humbled and proud to witness your generosity in action and to pay tribute to one of my very dearest friends, Nader Fakori. We lost him much too soon this past July. And ACRL is a very special organization that's full of hardworking and earnest people, many people, giving themselves in big ways, in little ways. Sometimes it's subtle and obvious, sometimes it's seen and unseen, but a lot of people have put their time and their treasure and their talent into making this organization what it is. That was the foundational part of Nabi's vision. He also had the wisdom to bring together an incredibly talented group of people to serve on our board, and he encouraged us to all lend our time, treasure, and talent to those people in this community that needed it most. And one of the most talented people that I've ever met in my life, a giant, person with a giant heart, that's who I'm paying tribute to tonight, and I hope all of you will join me in that. Nader was my friend. He was trusted, always reliable, confident. He was a brilliant strategist and problem solver, a builder of bridges, somebody who could always help our organization connect the dots that needed to be connected. He was resourceful, doggedly pursued the resources we needed when we needed them, struggling out of the gate as a young organization competing for support in a very competitive nonprofit world. He was always calm. He was always composed, unlike me and Nabi. He kept his composure in the most stressful times. In other words, he was the yin to my yang. He was a man I will always admire, and he was, above all that, my friend. Any fool knows that behind every successful man is a powerful woman. I learned that from Nader, just how true that old chestnut is. Nader's good advice and better example as a husband and father helped me become the kind of man that Nahai deserves and my kids deserve. And I want to thank Janine, who's here with us tonight, because she's the one that let Nader spend all those hours with us, having fun, cracking jokes. he wouldn't have been coming up the side of the stage to punch me in the face for spelling his name wrong. He would have thought it was funny, and he would have rolled with it. That's just the way the guy was. My story with Nader isn't unique. He touched a lot of lives in his 52 years. It's hard to calculate the number of people who profited from his wisdom, his goodness, his fundamental decency. I watched him closely in the years following his first liver transplant. That's when we became close. He was a man on a mission. Deep down, he knew, because he reminded me repeatedly that he knew the odds were not in his favor. And yet, he never pouted or showed bitterness. He stiffened his spine like a man, and he showed the grit and determination that marks what it means quintessentially, and yes, defiantly, to be a person of Arab American heritage, a heritage that he proudly embraced. Nader was taken from us far too soon, 7 days before his group of buddies was planning to invade Janine's backyard for a long overdue reunion due to this pandemic. And one of the greatest sadnesses is that none of us had the chance to say a proper goodbye. Alhamdulillah, we never missed opportunities to express our love for one another, though. Tonight, when my head hits the pillow and I try to count my uncountable blessings, I will be counting 8 extra years that I got with him and to learn from him, thanks to his transplant. Nader meant the world to those of us who knew him. No one can calculate the sheer goodness he brought into the universe with his all too short gift of 8 extra years of a wonderful, wonderful, well-lived life. We all have the power not only to pay tribute to our dear friend, not just in word, but to help others just like him gain additional years to put some of the goodness he put in the universe in those years that he got because of his transplant. We know you all sacrificed to help us finance our operations, but also to pay back the gift of life for giving those years for Nader. We have a short video from the Gift of Life Foundation that we'd like to play prior to having Janine come and say a few words. There are some envelopes on everyone's table for a very worthy cause, the Gift of Life Foundation. We would ask all of you to be generous, as you've already been generous. But we might not be here tonight had it not been for the contributions of people like Nader. And those 8 extra years were precious to us. And there are many other people in need and many other families in need like him, or like Nader's family, that could use your support. So, want to cue the video?
We meet families on a tragic, tragic day, and there's nothing that we can do to take away that pain and that grief that they're experiencing. However, through donation, we see donor families transform that pain into something good.
We work 24/7, 365. And Give to Life Michigan facilitates around 1,100 organ transplants each year.
Is an industry that is dependent upon the altruism of people.
We meet families on a tragic, tragic day, and there's nothing that we can do to take away that pain and that grief that they're experiencing. However, through donation, we see donor families transform that pain into something good.
We work 24/7, 365. And Give to Life Michigan facilitates around 1,100 organ transplants each year.
Is an industry that is dependent upon the altruism of people, the love of humanity, the idea that we can all help each other.
If more people would open their eyes and donate, they would save so many lives.
Ladies and gentlemen, Janine Fukori.